Hello, 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 my peeps. Good morning, Denver. Good morning, world. Good morning to the 505. And in studio with me, I've got a young lady by the name of, introduce yourself.
Hi.
Get close to the microphone there.
Okay, I'm Cindy Rivera. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I'm happy to be here today.
All right. Well, let's talk a little something about. You've always obviously you've always been listening or did listen to, and I hope you still are, talking about the Love Doctor, Dan Ulibarri, and you kind of had a vibe going there in the way of just special interests together.
Yes, he was monumental in my life, and he was there for me. He was there for me in times that nobody else was.
Right.
And he made it so very easy to speak with him, to reminisce about things, to talk about just wonderfulness of life, and I miss him.
Definitely. Talking about the Love Doctor, Dan Ulibarri, my brother, and it's ironic the way she and I met. We were listening to some live music here in the downtown area, and we were outside just kind of chatting a little bit because a friend of a friend she was with. And anyway, we started talking, and that's when she brought up the fact that, hey, I know Dan Ulibarri, or at least I knew him, and he was very inspirational in what I'm doing. So I'm excited, and it inspired me to want to get you on. I kind of heard your story, and then the last one, when I saw you over the weekend, really inspired me. Let's talk a little about, you're originally from New Mexico, you grew up in Arvada, am I correct?
Originally, I was from here.
Okay.
And I was in Arvada until I was about 10 years old.
Okay, okay.
We moved out to New Mexico, where my mother's family is from, and I grew up there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I grew up there in the South Valley.
Ouch.
And that's my home.
Yes.
That is my home.
Excuse me. May choke up a little bit. South Valley in Albuquerque, folks, we'll let you know it's not the most desirable place to live, but if you've got to, you got to raise children, then you got to do it. I actually was raised in Kittybrick area. I don't know if you know where that is.
Yes.
In South Valley, people from the 505 probably know what that is, and in them days, I think when I was growing up, it wasn't quite as bad as things are now. So let's do the full circle here. Right now, and where you're at in your life and what you're doing. With 2022 coming up, we've had all this stuff going on in 2021 and pandemics, people getting sick, but you kept striving and moving forward with your education and want to do something in the community. Tell me about it.
With this education, back to no guts, no glory.
Right.
I started attending Central New Mexico College, C&M, back in 2019, before the pandemic, and I was terrified. I had not been in an academic setting in 32 years.
Yes.
Okay. So starting to do that, I was fresh. I was, let's do this, and it terrified me. But it gave me a love for something that I didn't really have a love for while I was in school.
Right. Which was?
This love for knowledge, and a knowledge that you go and you get this education, and nobody can ever take this away from you.
Right, right.
This moved me into different arenas. This moved me, and it was kind of intimidating. I'm probably 20 years older than most of my professors. They've got dual credit students that are going from the high schools there. I was in college with 15-year-old students,
wow.
And I'm like, your parents must be so proud. And these were kids that were, literally looking towards going to Yale.
Wow.
And it moved me.
Wow.
It really, really moved me because, to be honest with you, I didn't think I could do it.
And you're doing it.
And I'm doing it. And it has made my life a beautiful one.
Right.
A very, very beautiful life. And I wouldn't change this for the world.
So tell me, what last I heard is that you're looking at you know, inspiring other people and children and women, and you got to take it a step at a time. But to get there, 5 degrees.
5 degrees. I
Amazing.
started, well, thank you.
Amazing.
I started out looking at getting an applied science degree in criminology,
Okay.
and I'm very close to achieving that.
Nice.
But in this realm of study, I had to take a few core classes. I had an opening up into psychology, sociology, history, believe it or not,
Wow.
and into Chicano studies.
Mm.
And in this last 2 years, CNM has now opened up a associate's level degree program in Chicano studies.
It's about time.
And yes, which at UNM you can get a master's in Chicano
Wow.
studies.
Amazing.
You know, so that opened up a doorway for so many other thought processes. And I would love to work with a very diverse population, but I'd like to know the population that I'm going to work with.
Right, right, absolutely. And you know, the whole thing, there's a professor in town, Bones Rodriguez, that I've known for many, many years, always listening, and he's enlightened me in a lot of the stuff. And he tells me, Chavez, you don't even realize you are part of the history here in Colorado,
Yes.
you know, in the world of music. I go, I am?
Uh-huh.
Yes, and he goes, I even taught some historical stuff about you and the Conexión Latina with Dave Gallegos, and I go, oh, geez, I didn't even know I hit the college. I barely, you know, I'm one of those fearful of education. I think for me, the School of Hard Knocks just kind of brought me to where I'm at in the love for music. But I see, you know, a person like you who said, you know, you really didn't do well in the high school setting, and here you are years later. I mean, you're inspiring me. Years later, getting into everything you're into right now.
Thank you.
You know, that is amazing.
Thank you.
Now, where do you plan, or where do you feel this is going to take you?
This is gonna, if this takes me where I would like to go, I'm building a map, so to speak.
Wow.
I'm building a map of a place that I've never seen,
Okay.
a place that I've never been.
Okay.
And if this takes me to where I would love to go, I want to work with youth, at-risk youth, before they get put into the system.
Yes.
Things have changed over the last 50 years, of course. I remember being in school and having after-school programs, having adult supervision
Right.
for hours on end after school. I remember the music program being big, sports programs being big, and our schools have been defunded.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so we've got a lot of intelligent, brilliant, aspiring children that have a lot of hours on their hands to do whatever they want to do unsupervised.
Absolutely. I've got a lot of grandchildren, and I always I tell people around me, I feel like my grandchildren are being raised by social media,
Yes, yes,
and it's sad
it is.
because it starts with us. And I look around our house, and the parents, the grandparents, everybody's got their phone in their hand, and they're looking at
Exactly.
social media. What are the kids going to learn?
Exactly.
What we're teaching them.
Well, and you have very young children too, that it's a lot easier to put them in front of social media, put them on a cell phone, instead of sitting down and opening up a book or spending that time. That has become a babysitter.
It has. It really has.
And that is
For
a shame.
hours in.
Yes, and that is a definite shame because you know, we as parents, we as grandparents, I think need to be pushing education. We need to be pushing the values that were once instilled in our home, but we don't push that, and that is a shame to us. You know, our children need to rise up through this because the world is going to get a hold of them, and it's going to teach them what it wants to teach them.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, if you just tuned in, we're live in studio at KUHS, The Stream, with a very knowledgeable young lady, inspiring Chicana, who is working on 5 degrees, folks. And I had the opportunity to meet her. Somehow God kind of brought us together, and ended up finding out that she was an avid listener of Dan Yillebrew, the Love Doctor, and they had some great conversations, and they kind of created this bond, this friendly bond, and that is awesome. But sometimes people are put in people's lives for certain reasons, and this is one of the reasons why I brought her in. 2022 is coming up, and we're always looking for ways to better ourselves. What are we going to do? What changes are we going to make in our lives? And you've gone full boat.
I've gone full boat, and that is something that I am very, very strong on. If you're okay with where your life is at, stay the same.
Right.
If you're not okay with where your life is at, you need to make the changes, and you need to be dedicated to it. And it's not always going to be easy. It is sometimes going to be really hard. But if you want a different outcome, make the changes.
Tell me the 5 different degrees again.
I am looking at a degree in Chicano Studies.
Okay.
A degree in Applied Sciences for Criminology.
All right.
A degree in Sociology.
Wow.
A degree in History, and a degree in Liberal Arts, and I also believe there is a 6th coming in Religious Studies.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the degree in history, because now they can't jive us.
Yeah.
They can't tell us, the Indian, Columbus came and all that good stuff. What are they teaching in that area?
In history, so many things have been opened up over the last couple of years. This pandemic brought us to a light,
Yes.
so to speak.
Definitely.
There are a lot of people that have been silenced that are no longer going to be silenced.
Right.
I have my area of study has been in Latin American history and in history from New Mexico. And to learn about colonization on this level opened up my eyes to things that I had never before considered.
Did you know there's a little town in New Mexico called Rivera?
Yes.
You know about that?
Yes.
The reason I'm saying this because I live down the street from there in El Pueblo, which is the exit off of I-25 going to Villanueva. And it's kind of like a little hidden state park there, beautiful
Right.
state park. But I keep thinking Rivera, and I got a lot of relatives that actually lived in Rivera that,
Wow.
I've since demised. But you probably have some roots out there.
I probably do.
So what this colonization in New Mexico? Tell me about it.
I never had a use for history growing up.
Mm-hmm.
When I started in with one of the most amazing professors that I have ever had, Brandon Morgan. He brought in things that I did not know. I did not know about Japanese internment camps in Santa Fe. I did not know really a whole lot about Los Alamos National Labs, the Manhattan Project, Oppenheimer's test with the Trinity bombs in White Sands, New Mexico. Learning about people with land grants, that their land was taken away. Those things, to me, it sparked something inside of me.
Right.
It sparked something. My mother's family is from a small town called Chilili, New Mexico.
I'm real familiar with it.
Yes, we're all the Poles from Chilili, New Mexico, which there is still the Merced, which is dealing with the land grants up there. I got to learn a lot about Tijerina and Las Goras Blancas.
Right.
And this was it was amazing to me because New Mexico has had to fight. New Mexico has had to fight because of the indigenous population, because of the colonization, the Spaniards, the mixing of the bloods.
Yes.
Yes.
My grandma said this. I was raised with my grandmother, and she goes, I went to sleep a Mexican and woke up an American.
Exactly. No, I mean, and that makes sense to me on so many levels, because they had to prove their alliance with America.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I mean, the history part of it, it's knowing why things have been the way they have been, knowing where things are rising to. And, and I am a firm believer that everybody has a right to take pride in their culture.
Right.
You know
right,
what I mean? But
right.
in New Mexico, it has been such a melting pot
It
that the
has.
cultures blend.
Yes.
You know, so who has the right to history, I guess is my question.
Right, right.
You know?
Well, you know, it's like, and I go back to my immediate family. My grandfather from my father's side was Spaniard. The lady he married was 100% Apache.
Mm-hmm.
Then on my mom's side, my grandmother was Mexicana from Mexico, and then on my grandma's, my mom's father, he was Spaniard.
Yes.
So
It's
that's
a
a
blending.
mix. It's a mix.
It's a blending. And that's what, you know, seeing now, people learning what their true voice is, kind of feeling like you never really belong in one specific place.
Right,
You
right.
know, and I'm sure if I've felt this way for 50 years, there's other people that feel that way.
Sure.
But learning the roots and the culture, seeped so much in so deep of a culture. New Mexico definitely is the land of enchantment.
It almost created like its own culture.
Yes.
You know, because of the melting pot of all these different native roots that had come across. But it's one of those things where who are we? You know.
Right.
What are we really about?
Exactly.
You know? And I think they just said, the heck with it. Let's just be who we are.
Yes.
And let's
Yes.
just make it from the comida
Yes.
to the música to just creating our own events, you know, the
Yes.
burning of the zozobra.
Yes.
You know, they have their 4th of July, but it's not really about the 4th of July. It's el 4 de Julio
Yeah.
in Las Vegas, New Mexico.
Yes.
You know, and it's a big event. It's huge, but it's just a way for all the little communities to come
Yes.
together to one place. It's kind of like a Sturgis, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Everybody comes. It's a big melting pot. It's a vibe. It's its own vibe.
Exactly, exactly. So that's the history part.
Yes.
Sociology.
Sociology. I learned a lot about what is social norm, what people assume is social norm, and anything that deviates from it. I learned about people wanting to have the spotlight as far as media goes and what they will be presenting to you.
Is that me?
That's you. There was your picture and everything. You know, the sociology of why people do the things they do, and culturally speaking, why it is so.
Right.
That took me into a whole nother ball game. And like I said, this was all stemming off of criminology. I've always had the love for criminology. I work with APD homicide down in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Wow.
Overworked, underpaid.
Yeah.
You know, I've been working with, actually with City Council for quite some time down there.
Wow.
They're with Clarissa Pena. And our brainchild just got kicked off the ground, and this is going into the social work part of it.
Right.
We are now going to be fielding 3,000 calls from Albuquerque Police Department when it comes to inebriated people, homelessness, mental health, or drug addiction.
Wow.
It will be social workers, peer advocates going out into these streets to help these people because it is obviously a problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and alcoholism has been a problem even since I came out here in '77. But I think it's mostly with the Indios, you know. They kept them in their own little colonies, you know, go to your Cochiti, go to all these different colonies, fill up the trucks with beer and have at it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And now it's a kind of, you know, wider spread with our younger
Exactly.
generation, the meth, the fentanyl that's going on. It's really a sad situation.
It is a sad situation, and I mean, I've taken the stance that, you know, a lot of what society deems as unworthy, those are people's children.
Yes.
Those might be somebody's mother, somebody's aunt, somebody's dad, brother, whatever. And everybody has a right to have treatment. Everybody has a right. Where there is a will, there's a way. I'm not saying that everybody wants it.
Right.
But for those few individuals that do, we get so caught up in red tape as far as insurances, as far as treatment times, as far as who can be seen. And there is such a fine line between that and mental health.
And then politics.
And politics.
You know, politics come into play. Now, it seems now that, since we're talking about Nuevo Mexico and this kind of thing, it's now called Tamalewood.
Yes.
Because there are so many media or filmmaking companies, you know, from Netflix to,
Yes.
I mean, you name it, they're out there. And it seems like that would generate a lot of dollars for the economy and to help the social programs.
Yes. It would seem as such. I mean, with the pandemic happening, things did slow down, but they have kicked back in. It's not generating the money where the money needs to go at this point in time. Politics, exactly. And New Mexico has always been a not what you know, a who you know state.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, so we're looking at a few different things out there of getting the monies that are available to where they need to be.
Right.
With my work with the youth, I live walking distance from Rio Grande High School. It kind of shocked me in 2019 to find out we had 60 homeless students from Rio Grande High School. Yeah. And education has never been pushed. I know for myself, doing what I'm doing in school, it would be hard for me in a loud environment to learn. It would be harder for me to learn from the back of my car.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
And you know, and I'm pretty dedicated to you know, getting in there. But can you imagine a child's brain trying to do this? You know, so
it's tough.
There's a lot of work that needs to be done.
Absolutely. Once again, Cindy Rivera from New Mexico, the 505. I think that's one of the reasons why. Also, I'm so proud of this young lady. 5 degrees. And I look at, and I'm hoping that maybe we could even touch just one young Latina out there who are inspiring, who are thinking, you know, I'm just going to get through school and go work at Walmart, you know.
Right.
No.
No.
There are things, there are people that need people like you that are energetic, vibrant, and have this great ideas. And you touched on so many of them. Ultimately, like you say, you're making a little map. It's going to probably take you, zigzag you here and there. But what brings you to Denver every once in a while?
To Denver, this is where my father's family is from. My siblings are here.
Okay.
And we've come through this pandemic together.
That's awesome.
We have come through this together, and I love it here. I love the snow.
Yeah, we get a little more snow than New Mexico for sure.
Except for this year.
You know, we've got a few more minutes here. This part is really important for me because, and I think you should really get into it. What do you got for that one young girl out there who's thinking about what am I going to do after I get out? What is it that inspires me to do maybe even half of what you're doing, Cindy Rivera?
I'm going to say, you know what, mija, you run with it. There is only one of you for this world. And throw out the limitations, because life will tell you what you can be. Life will tell you what you can do. And you know what? Don't listen to any of that. You know, want more for yourself. And you know what? If you can go out there and if you can get 1 degree, 5 degrees, 7 degrees, whatever, you can do this. No one can ever take that from you. Young people out there don't seem to know their self-worth. They're just kind of floating around, and that's par for the course. You don't find that until a little bit later on in life. But what I am saying is that, you know what, you don't let anything hold you down. You don't let this world dictate to you what they deem you're going to be. You rise up and you show, and your life will be better for it. Your life and generations after you will be better for it. You're our hope. That's what I have to say.
Beautiful. Very well said. 2022 is around the corner, folks. And things have got to change in this world, and it's got to start with us
Yes.
in a positive way. I listen to KCFR, it's public radio, and they talk about making changes in the planet and doing your part. Think about ways, you can do your part. They're saying, well, it's maybe too late, you know. First place to start is putting the plastics in the plastics if you need
Yes.
to. Don't throw the trash outside the window, when you're driving. That kind of thing. I think 2022 is bringing some major changes somewhere, one way or the other. And I think we're all starting to think forward. You got people flying up to space like once a week now. It's like an RTD bus. And they're trying to go see what other planet we can mess up.
Right. Well, it starts somewhere, and who better than to start with you?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I want to wish you the best.
Thank you.
I want to wish you and your familia a Merry Christmas and
Yes.
Happy New
Merry
Year.
Christmas.
And don't forget tamales, the bizcochitos. And, it's kind of like an inside joke between her and the Love Doctor. But you guys had some pretty good conversations.
Oh, yeah, we did.
That is awesome.
Yeah, we did.
Thank you once again.
Thank you.
And I hope that, I don't know, I see you in office somewhere. I just see that drive in you, and sometimes to make changes, you got to be part of the leaders, even though you
Yes.
don't have to, roll to their beat.
Right.
You could make the changes.
Yes.
And I don't know, I just see that in
Thank you so much.
I wish you so much success this 2022, and thank you for inspiring that one lady out there, that one young girl that I think one day will say, Cindy Rivera on KUHS.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, it's KUHS, The Stream. We entertain you, we inform you, and now we're inspiring you. 2022 is going to be a great year, and we look forward to having you listeners. KUHS has got different genres of music. We've got avenues for your business to thrive. If you're looking at advertising, don't do it what they call the traditional way. Do it our way, because not only are we going to put you in front of thousands of people viewing you, but we'll also put you in front of thousands by putting your commercials on. It's kind of like a little end of the year stuff for us here, so I had to throw in that little tidbit. Thank you all for listening to KUHS. We got more music on this side. Keep it locked in, and que viva la raza, and thank you again.
Thank you.
Cindy.
Thank you.
Rivera.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. KUHS, The Stream.